Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 190 of the Willow Show. Get out of your chair, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today, I'm gonna hop on the old WWE bandwagon again, as when I get time, I usually try and watch the pay-per-views, and I was kind of excited for this one. We were promised 2 WrestleMania caliber matches. Now, it wasn't the matches that they promised would probably be them. But nonetheless, I had a good night once in a while. I don't always follow the weekly shows, but I usually enjoy to watch a pay-per-view. It brings me back to the nostalgia of my childhood. So let's get into what I saw and what I thought and everything. Excuse me, I got hiccups from dinner. And so the first match, I missed like the first entrances and the first couple minutes of it. I was putting the cameraman in the old bathtub. And so it was Jason Jordan versus The Miz. All I knew is I only wanted The Miz to win, and the match wasn't anything special from what I saw, but it was solid. I liked the one spot where The Miz goes for his clothesline in the corner where his legs go through the ropes, but he grabbed him and turned him into a belly. I thought that was pretty cool. I kind of feel like I was happy The Miz won, obviously, like I said. I kind of feel like they're doing the thing with The Rock, with Jason Jordan, like when they first bring The Rock in and tried to make everybody love him and they just wouldn't do it. I kind of feel like they're going to try and do that, and then hopefully it will turn into a really good heel turn. Like nowadays, the fans, even if they like somebody, if the WWF decides to push them down our throats, people are going to go against that. And I think they knew that, so they're like, here, let's shine this guy up real nice, and here, you guys love him. Here you go, you have to love him. So it would make for a really good heel turn. What was the next match? Finn Balor for Bray Wyatt. I was not excited at all to see this match. I don't like the story. I know it's just kind of a transition period for Balor as they're going to push him to the moon. I just feel bad for Bray, losing 2 times in a row on pay-per-view. Like, this guy's got one of the best characters, but to me, I have no interest in seeing him because they never put him over. Like, that one time on SmackDown, he was a transitional champion, but other than that, he loses all his big feuds, so it's just like, I honestly feel they need to repackage him or something, or maybe even turn him face or something, because where do you go from here with Bray? Obviously, they're pushing Balor to the moon, but I wasn't interested in the match, and it wasn't a great match. It kind of made me mad, too, how they're, like, trying to make him look like Super Balor, like he can't even start the match, and then all of a sudden after that he has a 15-minute match and wins. Like, at least let Bray win if you're going to have him attack him. So they basically just buried Bray. But it wasn't a good match for me. Like, all the moves were good and everything. I'm not saying that. I was not invested in it at all. And then the Tag Team Championship. Cesaro and Sheamus against the Rollins and Ambrose. And what a match, man. It reminds me, like, Sheamus and Cesaro or something, whatever. They kind of remind me of like the Revival, and it was such a great match. I can't wait to see a 3-way match with those 2 teams and the Revival. And man, their timing and the use of the tags and everything, and the use of all 4 men, it was such a great match. Like, they didn't even do anything. Well, when he power bombed him onto him off the top rope. Other than that, they didn't have to do anything spectacular. Felt bad for Cesaro with his teeth jammed down his throat, and I just have to wonder, like, when the referees put on those gloves, I thought that was to clean all the blood away from the guy. So the referee puts on those gloves, or is it just to keep him harm from disease? But it's almost like Cesaro was like, don't freaking touch me. I'm finishing the match. Don't touch me. Like, I've seen him talking to the ref a couple times there. Scary moment, for sure, but props to him for continuing the match, as it was a really great match, and it would have sucked to see that cut short. But that was probably match of the night, in my opinion. Whoa, that was definitely a WrestleMania caliber match. What was next here? I guess it would be the women was next, was it not? So the women, that Nia Jax, wow. I can't believe she takes the last time I watched a pay-per-view, or maybe it was like a couple months back, but she took a huge bump in that one, and this one getting powerbombed off the apron, like even the smallest girl that would hurt her, and then she took it so nasty, like on the back of her head, and I'm kind of happy Alexa Bliss is still champion, just because I've got sick and tired of the title switching so much for the women. it seems like it flip-flop around. Like, in the last 2 years, Charlotte and Sasha have been champion like 4 times each, and Bliss has been champion 2 times each, and Bayley's been champion, and Natalia, and then it switches so much. Give somebody a long run with it. I like Nia. Man, she's a big girl, but she moves well. She bumps. She shouldn't have to bump like that, but props to her for doing so. And the match wasn't like, it's hard to do a 5-way. It kept me interested, but it wasn't like match of the year or anything like that. But yeah, they all worked hard. They did what they could. Emma just seems awkward for me. Like, I love how she looks. She's very pretty. She does good moves, but she just, I don't know, it's something about her arms, like the way she runs or something. She kind of looks like robotic. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's just something weird about the way she moves, like to do her moves. Like, it's hard to describe, but yeah, it was an enjoyable match. And then we had Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Some people say it's like the passing of the torch kind of thing. Blah blah blah. I like how they like slow down and let the crowd dictate. Like, they didn't have to do much for the first 5 minutes. So then when they do a move, it seems like, whoa, everyone's so tired. They've already had an 8-minute match, but they haven't had to do anything because they're just working off the crowd. So that was great. I almost felt bad. Like, Cena hit 4 AAs or whatever, and he kicked out of all of them, and especially like a super one off the top, and one followed by another one with a roll through. Like, I was glad Reigns won, but it's like he put him over too much. It's like all of Cena's old matches where he beat people with this move, and now he hits it 4 times and he can't even beat Reigns. It was just kind of like overkill on that one move. Like, he had to have something else he could have done to him. But and Reigns hitting his head. Oh my, that was disturbing when he did the spear. That looked gross. It looked like definitely a stinger. It was what it was. Cena is doing good business, putting Reigns over, and I didn't like on the Raw Talk after, though. It was entertaining. I enjoyed Raw Talk, but I didn't like how he was like, oh yeah, I was just doing that to bring the best out of him, blah blah blah. I was just helping him hit that next thing. Like, basically, he's like, oh, now he's ready, blah blah blah. It's like, no, he's been ready. Like, yeah, he's not that sharp on the mic, but how many times has Roman Reigns got to go unscripted on a promo compared to Cena? It's like, this is probably the first time he's been allowed to do so. So it's not really his fault, but I didn't like how, I liked how Cena was putting him over and saying, oh, he took the torch and everything like that, but I didn't like how he was like taking all the credit for it. But I kind of got sad for Cena. Like, I never was a big Cena fan. I always respected him. And it was like one of those things like I was talking about earlier, where he was pushed down our throats. But you know what? He's had a lot of great matches, especially in the last 2 years. He's put over the young guys very well, and it's kind of sad to see him go just because of the reactions you get. Who else gets that reaction other than Roman Reigns? Like, Braun does, Brock Lesnar does, but Brock Lesnar's not there all the time, and both of them are not great on the microphone. So anyway, I enjoyed the match. Next was the Cruiserweight match. Now, I honestly thought it was just going to be a squash, and especially at the beginning, how they were doing it with Enzo, like, just being dead and Neville just totally owning him. And that's how I thought it should be. I thought if they were going to get Enzo the champion, it should have been a slower build. They should have done that, like, have him just kill him, and then, you know, he's never going to give up. He's going to keep fighting. But then at the end, when Enzo low-blowed him, I understand you got to do what you got to do to win, but it makes sense that, like, a lot of people buy his stuff, but a lot of people are annoyed by him, and especially the story they've been pushing on social media about no one in the locker room liking him. It makes sense that he does the low blow, and then on Talking Raw or whatever, it was like he was kind of turning the corner there. So I didn't like them finish for the match if he was a face, but I liked how it went. It made the story interesting, so that was good. And then I was looking at the clock, and there was only like 15 minutes left. I'm like, wow, this is going to be another Goldberg match with Braun. And you know what? I really wanted Braun to be the champion and get that pop, but I feel like everyone's saying it's Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I really want to see Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. I want to see a rematch, but I was not happy with the finish. Like, he beat him from pillar to post, and he kicked out of his finisher, and then he couldn't even kick out of one F5. Like, I thought it should have been some kind of shenanigans pulled, or like a count out, but like, they've been building Braun up, sorry, what a tongue twister. They've been building Braun Strowman up so much, and then he just loses clean like that. It's like, I know eventually he will be champion, and I thought that match was okay. Like, I don't want to see two big guys go at it like that for 20 minutes. I want to see them just do all their big, strong stuff, and it wouldn't last that long if it was a real fight anyway. So I was happy with it. I just thought that I don't like Brock as champion. He's fine. He's the best champion to have on your poster to say he's your champion for the media. So I get that. I just thought they made like all the work they've been doing to build Braun up, and now it's like he just went down a couple notches. I'm sure they could build him up again, but like, man, they had him in the right place. There should have been some kind of third-party interference or just something to keep them both neck and neck. But all in all, I mean, I enjoyed the pay-per-view because I didn't get caught up in the hype too much of saying how great it was going to be. I just found out it was on and I watched it, and I enjoyed my time. So let me know what you think on the Willow Show. Like, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. Subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!